Mason Greenwood is facing serious questions this morning after shocking, chilling, disgusting images posted by what I believe, through what I've read across social media, to be his girlfriend or potentially now ex-girlfriend, of just one of the worst crimes any person, any man could ever commit, of assaulting, and a voice note that appears to suggest full-on sexual assault was committed towards this young lady. These are subjects, when it comes to footballers, that the football terrorists have never shied away from talking about, irrespective of the club they play for. The general standpoint from us is to treat the player and the victim both with an element of respect, in the sense of innocent until proven guilty, but equally not slamming and challenging and being disgraceful towards the potential victim. This circumstance seems so much more different, of course, because of the photos, because of the voice note that I think everybody has listened to, which is just horrendous and certainly sounds like Mason Greenwood. This appears in my gut to be Mason Greenwood. Man United, as we know, have released a statement, which I don't think anybody was expecting anything different from an entity such as Man United at this point, who have said we have been made aware of the images and allegations circulating on social media. We will not make any further comment until the facts have been established. Manchester United does not condone violence of any kind. And this is to be expected from Manchester United at this moment in time. Of course, it was always going to be expected, because they cannot come out and condemn it until the facts are proven, just because of the legalities against them, and they will always protect themselves as a bit legally when they're making statements. So just something I'm aware. I'd never expected Man United to come out and say anything at this point. However, I want to say this off the bat, because I've been talking about this for years when it comes to how football clubs behave and what I want from Manchester United. And when I say if, respect me when I say if here, because I'm talking purely on a legal stand. Actually, forget that. I'm not. I don't care whether he's found innocent or guilty in a court of law. If all the evidence come out and we see that it's him, if he gets off on some weird loophole, that doesn't count for me. I need you to understand what I'm saying here. Man United have got to act. If they know for a fact that's him, irrespective of why, irrespective of what some fancy lawyer may be able to get him off with, Manchester United need to act. Of course, if he's completely innocent and that's another lad and they're setting Greenwood up, and I'm throwing that out there because there's been many shocking things that have happened in this world, then of course they stand by him. But if it's him, and I think we all know it is, in our heart of hearts, Man United have got to act. Man United have got to set a standard, which most other clubs seem to not want to do to star players when they break laws, when they do things wrong. Whether it's committing racism, whether it's drink driving, whether it's been other assaults in the past, it always seems to be a way of getting around it. Not for me. Make an example. Make an example to the world and stand up and do the right thing. Of course, if, this 100% is him. And I will always throw that in there. But as a Man United fan this morning, I am sickened. As a Manchester United fan, I am... A lot of people are talking about I'm angry with him because he's thrown his career away. He's ruined his life. I'm not... That is my last thought when it comes to Mason Greenwood. I'm thinking about that poor young lady who has been subjected to just such an ordeal. By the sounds of it, being forced into having intercourse with someone she doesn't want to have intercourse with, through physically being hit. And fair play. Someone said to me, why are you sharing the picture? Do you know why I shared the picture in the thumbnail? And I'll stand by it. Because she shared it for everybody to see. Because she wants everybody to see it. She doesn't want this to be brushed under the carpet. She wants this to be taken seriously. So from my standpoint, if you're someone that's trying to suppress these pictures and images, I feel like you're protecting Mason Greenwood. And at this point, he does, from a legal standpoint, need to be treated with respect. The law needs to do it. The justice system needs to do it. And he needs to be given a fair trial. That doesn't need to be taken away from him. But attention needs to be on this. Scrutiny needs to be on this from the get-go, in my opinion. So she's the only person who I'm thinking about right now. You know, as a father of a young girl, it resonates with me. It resonates massively, and I'm not going to shy away from this conversation. We never have on the terrace, and we never will, just because now it's one of my favorite Manchester United players. In some respects, I'm probably going to be even harder if I'm being absolutely honest. It's absolutely horrendous. There is no for me. There is no defending it in any way, shape, or form. I'm not suggesting anybody has. His career is to be over. Of course, if he's found guilty, his career has to be over. And you know what? Even if through the court of law, they can't 100% prove it's him, because what I will say through my experience of life, audio doesn't necessarily, doesn't always play through as being the best evidence possible. And of course, if there's no witnesses, there still may be a possibility that he's charged but isn't found guilty. But if the club knows it's him, my gut feeling as of this morning is you've got to terminate his contract. If you're not, you've got to end his Man United association. If another football club wants to give him an opportunity, that's on them. But this is horrendous beyond belief. Chilling beyond belief. We're not going to put any of the pictures up. We're not going to play the audio. It's all available on social media. Go and take a look at it yourself. It's something I don't want to, we've shared the picture and the thumbnail. Yes, we're not going to share any more of it on here. I personally don't want to listen to it again. It's making my blood boil, if I'm being honest. But I do want to get your views and your opinions on this as football fans, because you're all involved in this. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you feel. I want to know what you believe should be happening in relation to this morning. But it's huge news. It really, really is. And the club's got to act. Our understanding is the Manchester Met Police have already acted, and things are going to take shape now. And it's just, as I say, all my thoughts and feelings are with her. None with Mason Greenwood at this time. Absolutely none. He has to face the consequences of this, and the club, as I've said in my tweet, need to set an example to football. We've seen so many occasions where football clubs have stood by people in these terrible moments. And listen, they can stand by him socially, so help him rehabilitate, get him the counselling that he needs, and everything else. But he's already a millionaire. If he's done this, and I say if because I still, my gut through the way I feel about life, innocent until proven guilty is there. He's got to go, and I want my club to be the first club to actually stand up and do something moral in these situations. I'm actually desperate for that, for Man United in this example to stand up and say we are righteous in this. And I tell you what, though, got a feeling they won't, and that's the maddest point. I've got a feeling they won't, and that bothers me very much as well. I am going to open up the lines. I want to know what people are thinking and feeling about this. We're not. There's no jokes being said here today. No nonsense. It's not happening because this isn't something to laugh about, but it is something to talk about, because this is one of Man United's and one of England's brightest prospects who's done this. And, we speak about him a lot on the terrace, and I think it'd be wrong for us to ignore it. If you want to phone in and have your say, let me know. No nonsense, please. It won't be tolerated today. Simple and straightforward as that. We have some super chats here. One says that players thinking they are gods think they can do whatever they want. This absolutely cannot be condoned, and I never want to see him at United again. Bright future gone in one act. And you know what, Ginger Fury? I think everybody shares your sentiment. On a personal level, I don't want him anywhere near this team ever again, anywhere near this club. I do 100% understand that due process has to take place, and he has to be able to tell his side of the story, and he's going to get his day in court. And I also understand there is this possibility, because some people say, yeah, but he has to be given his time in court. And yeah, he may be proven to be innocent. It doesn't feel like he will. My gut feeling is this is 100% him. And I understand where you're coming from moralistically with that, Ginger Fury. We're going to move on to Ganto here that says, sorry in advance if this is inappropriate. Does this confirm Mason as the youth with the bad attitude Ronaldo talked about? Also, the victim deleted all Insta posts. Fair enough. I didn't know that she deleted them. The last time I looked, I saw them a little while ago. She's probably been told to remove them for legal reasons. And if that's the case, and she's removed them, what I will do, out of respect to her, is pixelate the original image that I put up. Because if she's now deleted, then I will follow course and do the same thing again, like I said, to respect her wishes in relation to that. If she wanted them shared, I was going to share them. If she wants them protected and put away, then I will do exactly the same thing. In terms of, does this prove that he was the player with a bad attitude? We don't know. I mean, these things, correlation doesn't equal causation. But it's certainly not a good look for him at all, is it? Terry, this is beyond disgusting, and I think no one deserves this. I feel bad for the victim, and I hope she recovers well. Thoughts and prayers with the victim. No means no. Absolutely. And this is where football fans earn their stripes for me. This is what I always say, right? This is where football fans earn their stripes, because it's very easy to want to defend your players in these circumstances. It's very easy to want to step up and come out and say, do you know what? Yeah, but he's young. Yeah, but he's talented. Yeah, but this. Yeah, but that. And we see it all the time. I've seen, if we take it away from assaults, we went through that period, didn't we? Maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, where there was always these. We went through this. There was the Aubameyang had a banana thrown at him by some Spurs fans. You had the Chelsea supporters kicking people off of trains. You had Man United getting the highest arrest rates in the Premier League for racial incidents, etc. And when you saw fan bases, but it ain't all of us, it ain't me, can't condemn it. What are you talking about? Come out and condemn this stuff with some chest. Come out and say this is wrong. We're fans, and the reason that we cover some of these subjects away from the football pitch is because this stuff matters to fans. We all want to look at our football clubs and feel honor and feel pride. You can't when this type of thing is going on. That's why I think it's very, very important to speak about these things. I really do. I really, really do. I don't know what to say. Another career possibly wasted. And do you know what, Pav? It is. And I do think there's an element here of, again, the player liaisons and the clubs. What are they doing? This is somebody with the world at his feet. This is somebody who's already a millionaire. This is somebody with a very bright future, but is still, someone said, like, footballers think they can get away with whatever people that are not footballers and not rich and not wealthy are doing this type of thing. So I don't think it's exclusive to rich and famous people and football players at all. But those people have much more opportunity and privilege to get help. Mason Greenwood, based on the money that he earns and the status that he has, is one of the most privileged people in the UK. Manchester United are one of the biggest organizations, one of the most famous organizations in the UK. And this is more of a question than a statement. What's being done behind the scenes to help and to stop and to spot these situations so that people aren't being hurt? It's staggering to me. Comment here from Omar says, you can see why Southgate doesn't pick him. And look, maybe more's going to come out through this. The victim has deleted everything. This is becoming shambolic. Well, look, I will say two things on that. My gut is that she's probably been told by the police to delete it. Probably. If she's deleted it for any other reason, I don't know what they would be, i.e. Mason didn't do it, then everybody will come out and it will be on her and Mason will be vindicated and it's, there we go. But it sounds more like the police have said, please take that down. And the reason why they probably got to take that down, and it's the reason why I pixelated the image, is because probably about fair trial. It's almost probably impossible if all the pictures circulate for days and days and everything. And this is what I said earlier about Man United acting. He might get off because she shared everything and Mason can't get a fair trial because people have all seen it. People have all heard it. You've already made your minds up, right? Doesn't mean he didn't do it. I've heard the media have been sitting on this for a year. So this didn't just happen then. Are we saying this didn't just happen? If that's true, that is absolutely crazy. If you're saying that didn't just happen, this didn't happen. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. Comment here says, what happened to our young men? How have they never been told to not hit a woman? My dad would have disowned me. What the hell is going on? You know what, Andy? I think it's a fair point. This isn't new, though. It's just spoken about more. This stuff's been, we seem to have this kind of image that, like, it's this generation and not previous ones, where we look back with nostalgia that things were great. I don't think it was. It's just a case of people never had the ability to speak. People never had the ability to people never had the ability to sort of, I don't know what the word for it is, but people never had the ability to be able to speak up and get their message out there. Things were played down. I remember watching a very interesting documentary that was all about domestic violence, and there's a woman on there that had been assaulted and sexually assaulted by her uncle. And she told her parents, this was in like the 60s, and they made her say nothing because they didn't want the embarrassment on the family. So it was almost, they protected the uncle because they didn't want the embarrassment on the family socially. So I don't necessarily, listen, it's not a defense of anybody now, but to suggest this is like a new thing and young people are not being brought up right, I don't think that's the case at all. Timur here says domestic violence towards anyone cannot be tolerated in any society, and the whole and all around the world. If he's found guilty, ban him from football. I think most people will follow that sentiment. Thank you very much for becoming a member of the Terrace. Imagine how long she tolerated this. Some of those pictures dated back to, okay, so you are talking about 2 years. So I didn't look at the dates. I just saw this stuff come out. I'm actually terrible with social media. I just see a picture and I assumed it was yesterday. Absolute scum if proven. Hope she recovers mentally as well. Yeah, and again, more's going to transpire about this, but most fans feel sickened by it. Most fans feel disgusted with what he has done, and it's it's one of those things for me where I feel like a few people are saying on social media, like, respectfully, you should not be looking to gain engagement from such a topic. I disagree. I think this does need to be spoken about, and it needs to be condemned, and it needs to have, football fans need to be calling for the full attention to be put on this. And the irony is that's coming from people that are tweeting about it, which is engaging in it. So I don't quite get that. But look, from my point of view, I just wanted to come on this morning very briefly, and we were going to take calls, but not now. I've decided against it. But I just wanted to say to everybody that, this is something that can't be tolerated by Man United, the Premier League football fans, in its entirety. It's one of those things for me which needs to be it needs to be discussed 110%. It just does. And for me, it's heinous. It's absolutely heinous what he's done, and he deserves a full what was the reaction that he's getting, and arm of the law to be involved in this 110%. It's terrible. A comment here said, I'm 100% behind the victim. She needs to be brave, and you're absolutely right in this. She needs football fans to stand behind her 110%. There's no doubt about that. She just simply does. There's no doubt about it. Regardless of the legal outcome, there's clearly enough here to arrive at a conclusion, and that's what I agree with you on that, and that's something that I want. The legal element of this isn't what's bothering me, because the legal side is the legal side is the legal side. I just want the club to do the right thing in this, and that's what I'm really intrigued about right now. What they've done, how old this is, what they've done, the investigation that they've done, and everything else. But it sounds of their statement, they didn't know this was coming. It's just terrible. I don't care about getting fourth. This is the game. As a father of a daughter, I want him thrown out of this club and to rot in jail. And I understand that completely. But listen, everybody that has tuned in, I really appreciate it. There isn't much more to be said on the matter than I think we've already done. We always address these situations on the football terrace, and we always will, because they need to be highlighted. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless.